Welcome to Each One Reach One, everybody. Shalom. Let us begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wahab Rakak Kadash. What's the subject today? Well, we're gonna do a part two of the response to the statement, King David is the Savior. There is no son of the Most High. All right, we're gonna do part two. Maybe even do a part three. Why am I going to do this? Is because we got a lot of brothers and sisters that are still in the dark concerning Yahweh Shai. You know, they are the bigger segment of the Israelites, the Old Testament onlys. They make up the majority of the Israelites. Okay, even in the awakened community. All right. And it's still a few of them. It's still some that are following this stupid belief system, you know, that need to be drawn out. All right. So we're gonna touch on this. All right. So Old Testament, Second Ezra. This is from the Old Testament. It's in the Apocrypha, but the Apocrypha was once part of the Old Testament. Right. Let's go ahead and get into Second Ezra. A lot of you guys don't start trying to discount the Apocrypha now. Don't start trying to discount Ezra's all of a sudden, all right? Because I know that you guys believe in Ezra's as canon, all right? So let's get it. Second Ezra chapter 13. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that had moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. That man waxed strong. That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out from his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And see, these guys would like to think this is the Most High. For some reason, the Old Testament only Israelites believe our glorious Father, our Heavenly Father, the creator of everything, gets off of his throne and enters this world to come do dirt, to come kill, to come put in work for himself. They know that kings in this world, the presidents and everything else, you know, they give decrees and they send out people, they delegate, right? And they got people whose jobs it is to get things done. But no, not our Heavenly Father, though. You know, he's not as smart or as tactful as these leaders, these rulers of this world. He couldn't do that himself, though. They can do it. These people can do it in this world, but he can't do it. He got to get off his throne to come do stuff personally. Because you know, the Most High will not give his glory to another. He would not give his glory to another. They love to say this. And that's their reasoning for saying there could be no Yahweh Shai. There's no son of the Most High, because he wouldn't give his glory to another, but his son didn't take his glory. There was a glory of the Son and a glory of the Father. The same guys believe in all the prophets of the Old Testament. But how can you believe in all the prophets of the Old Testament, if you believe the Most High will not give his glory to another, and that he has to do everything for himself so that nobody can be given any credit? If he doesn't do it all himself, then it didn't really happen. That's what you believe. But how can you believe that? You don't believe in Moses. You don't believe Moses was raised up as a prophet to go to the people to do all of those great things that he did. Why didn't the Most High just do it himself? Because that's not how he works. How come he used Elijah the way he used him? Isaiah, Jeremiah, name a prophet, all of them. King David, any of these great kings. Why did he raise up any of these people to do any of the things he did instead of just doing it all himself? Why didn't Yahweh himself come down and slay Goliath for the people? Why was David used for that? So you guys don't make any damn sense, right? Why did he send the angels to come down and save Lot and his family before he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah? Why didn't he come down himself? By your logic, right? None of that stuff happened because that's the Most High's glory being given to another. You don't really understand. It's very foolish to believe that the Most High is going to come off his throne into this world and get his hands bloody and dirty to do all the stuff himself when he can use someone else to do it like he always does. Extreme foolishness, right? It's like, how dare you? It's crazy, pure madness, right? No one can see the Father. No one can look upon him without dying. So how in the heck is he going to come into this world and do all of this stuff himself without everybody dying? Huh? How? See, you don't make any sense. You don't make any sense. So we're all his sons and daughters of Israel. How is it hard to believe that there's a first? Before you can have 1,000, you have to have one, right? Always has to be a first created, a firstborn. If there's a bunch of something created, it has to be a first one done in the first place, right? You have to start with one, right? If we're all his sons, we are his sons, he has to start with one, right? And the first one gives most of the blessings and the inheritance, right? How does this not make sense to you when you understand the customs of our people? How does this not all tie in and make perfect sense? Because you've been left in gross darkness. But let's continue. I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but it was necessary. All right. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterward saw I the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world and not see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the things that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this, therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. He didn't say, this is an angel talking to him. He didn't say King David came up from the midst of the sea. He didn't say the Father, right? He didn't say the Most High, right? The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season. What does that mean? This is the same who the Most High hath kept a great season. He kept them hidden. He kept them hidden for a great season. That's what he's saying. This is the same who the Most High hath kept a great season. Can't be King David. It's not him. Remember, Yahushua was a mystery. He was spoken of all throughout the Old Testament, but written in a mystery because it wasn't given to everybody to understand. right? The same is he whom the Most High, the highest. So you know it's not talking about this is the Most High himself, right? This is the same whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. His creature, whoever this is, the people, the elect are being called his creature. This isn't King David. It can be King David. All right? The elect, the 144,000, the body of Hamashiach, his creature. Right? And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. See, this is the Most High delivering them. See, it's not, the Most High isn't being taken out of the equation. Just because he isn't the one doing it with his own hands doesn't mean he isn't the one doing it. He's responsible. He's given the decree. He's given the word. He's sending his son out to go do this. So it's still the Most High doing this. So you can't say, well, see, the Most High said he was going to do it. Yes, he said he was going to do it, but he didn't mean he was going to personally get up and come do it. He said he was going to be, him going to do it means he's going to be responsible for it. He's responsible for it. If I hire a killer to get someone killed, I got that person killed. I killed that person. I might not have pulled the trigger personally, but I made the calls. I paid the money. I pointed them in the direction of the person. I told them to go do it. I'm responsible. I did it. Same thing. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. You hear that? You hear that? Behold, the days come when the Most High shall begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. He who? He who? Not talking about the Most High. What were they just talking about before we brought up the Most High? It's talked about the person who the Most High hath kept a great season. He is going to come as an astonishment to them that dwell on the earth, because the Old Testament onlys are going to be like, oh, wow. So there really is a son of the Most High. And the other people who believe in white Jesus are going to see this Negro's like, oh, wow, he's not white. Oh, he doesn't look like us. Oh, he looks like the Negroes. It's going to be an astonishment to many for different reasons. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascended. See, he said, what? Wait, hey, wait, wait a minute. Each one, you just go try to breeze by that real fast, like the Most High didn't just say what he said. Oh no, I was just trying to see if he was going to catch that. What did he say? This is the Father. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. You see that? You see that? My son. And then shall my son be declared. All right? All right. You can't get past that. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 13. Listen, we're going to have to get this so you can see how the Most High operates, all right? He's a boss, like a foreman. He's a shot caller. Things are getting done at his behest, but he isn't personally doing them. But it's still him that's responsible. So he still gets the credit. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. And Micaiah said, as Yahweh liveth, what Yahweh saith unto me, that will I speak. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, go and prosper, for Yahweh shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of Yahweh? And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And Yahweh said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And he said, hear thou therefore the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And Yahweh said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? What? Why didn't Yahweh just himself just come out of the sky and do what he needed to do to make Ahab fall at Ramoth Gilead? Why is he asking those of his hosts that are around his throne on the right hand and on the left hand side, why are he asking them, who shall persuade Ahab to fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and one said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will persuade him. And Yahweh said unto him, wherewith? How? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. You see that? Yahweh didn't get off his throne to go make sure that Ahab went astray. He did what a shot caller does, what a king does, what a real general does. He delegated, he shot called, he called the shot. He sent out the best, he used the best tool for the job. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. That is his way. So was his glory given to the lion seducing spirit? Because the lion seducing spirit went out and got that accomplished? Did he give his glory away? No, he didn't. He gets the glory because the situation couldn't have been done without his permission, without his say-so, without his authority. It's a lot. This is his way. We got to stop the madness. Thinking our benevolent father is going to get off his throne and go kill shit himself. That's crazy. And go do stuff himself. No, he uses people. He uses people as his instruments. He's people and spirits. He doesn't move himself. So how is it hard to believe that he has a son, that he has a firstborn of all his spirits? That's his pride and joy. That's his right hand. Like the oldest son is normally the right hand of his father, the strength of his father, right? How come we understand this when it pertains to men, but we can't understand this when it pertains to heavenly things? Why are we so jaded and stupid? Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, saith Yahweh. But let's back up a little bit. Let's get this. The coming Messiah, the righteous branch. We know who the coming Messiah is. If you're anybody but an Old Testament only Israelite, and who the righteous branch is, King David was never referred to as the righteous branch, nor was he ever prophesied as being the Messiah. The Most High had never said that of him. Never. You can't go find it anywhere. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahweh, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their foes, and they shall be fruitful and increase. That's how we know this is an end time prophecy, because it hasn't happened yet. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. He said, what? What did he say? What did he say? I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. He didn't say, I'm going to come down to them and feed them myself. I'm going to come down and teach them myself. He said, I'm going to set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them. Now, is he giving his glory to the shepherds? Huh? Are the shepherds receiving his glory? Are they still in his glory? Is his glory being divided among himself and the shepherds? No, the glory still belongs to him. Because it is his will being done, his plan being executed. This is his way. Verse 5, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David, not raise up David as a righteous branch. That's not what this says. This is the Old Testament, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper. Not King David. It doesn't say David will be the king that shall reign and prosper, that David will be the righteous branch. No, I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Excuse me. And the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. This hasn't happened yet. We know future prophecy. Duh. Prophecy is something that's going to happen in the future. You don't got to say future prophecy. I say that because it's to make a distinction between prophecies that have already been fulfilled and those that have yet to be fulfilled. Why do I say that? Because I've heard people say stupid shit like that before amongst Israel, because that's what they do. Whenever they can't address what you're saying, they get nitpicky with little stuff like that to try to discredit you. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Okay? So, as you see, you saw it there personally. The days come, saith Yahweh. This is the Father. You gonna argue with him? You can try to argue with me all day long. Are you gonna argue with our Father? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna argue with him? He said that he will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper. Not that he was going to raise David up as a righteous branch, and he shall be the king that shall reign and prosper. He doesn't say that. He didn't say it. He didn't confuse himself. He knew what he was saying. He said exactly what he meant to say. Shame on you for trying to change his words to mean what you want it to mean, instead of taking him at his word, like he couldn't communicate himself properly or something. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Yahweh of hosts is his name, Yahweh of hosts. He has an army. Why does he have an army if he just can kill and do everything all himself? He can do all the murder and all the killing and say, why does he have an army? What is the purpose of this army? Right? So he went from specifying Yahweh of hosts to then talking about his hosts, and he's talking to them. Now, remember, you got to understand when it goes back and forth, when it moves around inside of scripture, this is not him talking about Babylon. He is not talking to Babylon, saying, Babylon, you are my battle axe and weapons of war. No, there were not. He did not say that. His hosts, his heavenly hosts, and his heavenly hosts are the elect, are his battle axes and weapons of war. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Why does the Most High need battle axe and weapons of war when he can just do everything himself? Why does he choose to use other spirits, other people, other beings? Why doesn't he just do it himself? Are you saying he never said this? Are you saying he never did this? Are you saying this ain't true? It's not accurate because the Most High would not give his glory to another? He doesn't have a host. He doesn't use his people as his battle axe and his weapons of war. He didn't really mean that when he said that. Listen, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. With you, Israel, the elect to be more precise, but Israel as well. Because many of Israel will be made sharp thrusting instruments having teeth. Right? What for? For show? No, to put in work. Why not just do it himself? With thee will I break in in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider, and so on. I don't need to get all that. Suffice it to say, you understand. That's enough, right? That is enough for you to see that he utilizes other instruments. He has men that are created for certain purposes, right? Same way he said he created the wicked for the day of evil. He created them to do a certain thing for a purpose. If he can create the evil, the wicked for the day of evil, he can create us, the Israelites, as vessels of righteousness and mercy. How come he can create spirits, right hand side and left hand side spirits? How come he can't have created his firstborn son, and he has to have a first before he can have many? How come he couldn't have created the first son to be his right hand? His right hand, the one that goes into the earth as his general and goes and get shit done for him. How come he could not have done that? Why would he not do that? You don't make any sense. Look at verse 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said Yahweh. Look what he said. I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea. I will render. But he just told you that he was going to use his hosts, the elect, as his battle axes and weapons of war. That he would use them to break in pieces shepherd and the flock and so forth. So when he says, and I will render unto Babylon, he said he will do it, but he told you before how he would do it. He's responsible for all this, but he did it even without doing it with his own hands. He still is responsible. He did it, or he'll do it. His glory is not being given to the host because they're going to be the one doing the ass kicking. He's the one going to glorify them and give them the power and ability to do it. He will be glorified in his people. Stop the madness. Jeremiah chapter 3. The polluted land. They say, and they say, where does they say this? Where do they say this? In the law of Moses. So he's making a reference to the law, all right? All you Old Testament only Israelites, you know, there is no new covenant, no New Testament. There is, you know, the law hasn't been done away with, okay? You can't have it both ways, all right? So listen, under the law, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? No, he shall not. He cannot do that under the law. So he's telling you with this that he adheres to the law himself. He does not circumvent the law. He can get rid of it, but if he puts it, if he's leaving it in place, he has to abide by it also. Listen, if the man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? We know the answer is no. Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Yes, indeed. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith Yahweh. Lift up thine eyes unto the high places and see where thou hast not been lying with. In the ways hast thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there hath been no latter rain, and thou hadst a whore's forehead. Thou refusest to be ashamed. Will thou not from this time cry unto me, my Father, thou art God of my youth? Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldest. See, they would say this because there was no way for them to be forgiven under the law. That's why they thought he would hold his anger forever, because under the law, there was no way that he can go back and accept them again. They would have to be cast off forever under the law. If he doesn't get rid of the law, there is no salvation for Israel. Verse 6, Yahweh said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel hath done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there hath played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me. But she returned not, and her treacherous sister Judah saw it. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Hear that? Because you have to do that under the law, right? Right? He's showing you that he adhered to the law. He couldn't take his wife back. He put Israel away. He put Israel away, gave her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. Let me ask you something. How can he take Israel back if he had put Israel away and given her a bill of divorce? That means there is no salvation for Israel unless the law was put away. That's the only way there can be salvation for Israel. So if you're saying the law has not been put away, you're saying there is no salvation for Israel. If you're saying there is no Yahweh Shai, you're saying there is no salvation for Israel. Doesn't matter who the people are. We're all doomed because we can't be saved. We're all doomed. There is no pride to take in being Israel. You're doomed to die like everybody else. You're doomed for the same destruction as everybody else because you have no salvation, because there can be no salvation for you under the law. And if he put it away, how did he do it? When did he do it? How did he bring Israel back? How does Israel get salvation without Yahweh Shai's sacrifice? How does it happen? Tell me. It has to be a perfect lamb. Right? How? Who was the sacrifice? What was the sacrifice for the people to be brought back? Because all of the sin, there are certain sins that can't be covered by the shedding of animals' blood. A greater sacrifice is necessary for the cleansing of the type of sins that Israel were guilty of. You do understand that, right? And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah hath not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, saith Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto me, the backsliding Israel hath justified herself more than treacherous Judah. Go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith Yahweh, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, saith Yahweh, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity, and thou hast transgressed against Yahweh thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith Yahweh. Turn, O backsliding children. O backsliding children. See, he has children, right? And come on now, we're all adults. Before you can have children, you have to first have what? A child. You have to have one before you can have two or three or four or five, right? Right? So we are his children. There has to be a firstborn among us, right? And under the law, under our customs, the firstborn would be the strength in the right hand of the father, right? The firstborn will receive the inheritance of the father, right? Firstborn would inherit everything that belongs to the father, right? Right? How do you not understand? How does it not make sense to you? Yahweh Shai's existence. How does it not make sense? You don't make sense. You're foolish. Right? Turn, O backsliding Israel. Pardon me. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Why not just bring everybody? Because later on down the line, when he will send his son to be the salvation of the people, everybody wouldn't accept his son. Everybody wouldn't accept the salvation. So he wouldn't be able to bring everybody back. He would only be able to bring back those who repented and accepted the sacrifice. Those who didn't accept the sacrifice, they wouldn't be covered by the sacrifice. So they're doomed under the law, right? And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. This happened with the apostles. But again, why would the Most High send pastors? Why wouldn't he just come and feed the people with knowledge and understanding himself? Why wouldn't he just do it himself? Why is he giving his glory to the pastors? Why? See, I don't even need to go any further into this chapter. I wanted to read more and finish the rest of this, but it's really not necessary, right? It's really not necessary because everything that it needs to be gleaned out of here, it's been gleaned already. It's been gleaned already. So, we don't got to pick all the grapes. We can leave some, right? All right. So, in the spirit also of keeping this around the 30-minute mark, we're gonna go ahead and end this part here. We got what we needed to get. We got the meat out. All right. Ezekiel chapter 14. Verse 16. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. They only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. These three men, what three men? We're talking about Noah, Daniel, and Job. Okay. Or if I bring a sword upon that land and say, sword, go through the land so that I cut off man and beast from. Listen, he said, I will bring a sword upon the land. Do you think he's going to come with the sword himself? You think the Most High was going to get off his throne and come through the land with a sword himself, right? Sword. Look, and say. So he's going to command it. Sword, go through the land. So he's going to command the sword to go through the land. And we know he has people that he used as swords, that he used as weapons against his people and against other nations. He raised up nation against nation, kingdom to take down kingdom, right? Why not take down kingdom by himself? Why use other nations to take down kingdoms? What is the purpose? Why is he giving his glory to other nations and kingdoms? You don't make any sense. Sword, go through the land so that I cut off man and beast from it. See, he's going to command the sword to go through the land, but he's the one cutting off man and beast from it. He's the one that wields the sword. But you don't understand spiritual things. You don't understand that the Most High is responsible for everything. We're just pieces that he used to get things done. We're all subject to him. Though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence into that land and pour out my fury upon it in blood to cut off from it man and beast. Why send a pestilence into the land? Why don't he just come and just destroy the land himself? Why does he got to send a pestilence into the land? Why do any of this when he can just come out of the sky himself, jump off his throne, come out of the sky and get his hands dirty? Why not? Why is all this necessary? It seems like all of this is a bunch of fluff, a bunch of stuff that he's doing for nothing, according to you guys, if he can just get up and come and do it all himself. If that's his way, but it's not his way. It's never been his way. So you guys make no damn sense. With that, we will not give his glory to another. Though Noah and Daniel and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my 4 sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast. He said he was going to use the sword, famine, and the noisome beast to cut, and the pestilence to cut off man and beast from the land. Why? See, he's using sword, that's a reference to people with weapons, not himself. He would send men armed men, right? Take away food, noisome beast. Why send a noisome beast? Why send a pestilence? Why send men with swords and other forms of weaponry to cut off man and beast from the land? Why? Because that's what he does. He uses what he's created for his purposes. He doesn't budge from his throne to do a damn thing. Stop the madness. Yet, behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when ye see their ways and their doings, and ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord Yahweh. He told you he was going to use sword, famine, noisome beast, and pestilence. He never said he himself was going to come off his throne and do shit. But yet in verse 23, he tells you, right? You will know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, all that I have done in it, because he used these things, but it was him behind it. So it was him doing it. When he sent his son, yes, he sent his son, but it was still him behind him, still him directing him. He was responsible, the father responsible for everything that his son did and said. His son couldn't do or say anything that he didn't command him to, just like the animals can't do anything that he doesn't command it to. The sword can't do anything that he didn't command it to. The noisome beast, the pestilence couldn't do anything that he didn't send it forth to do. He's responsible for everything. And you just don't get it. You just don't get it. But that's enough. Like, I can keep going, but why? Why? I've already beat you to death with the book. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. His words, not mine. Him leading. I'm the instrument. See, like I was just explaining to you, my words are not my own. Man's goings are not their own. You get it? We are at the will of him who has created us for his purpose. Everything and everybody, including his son, Yahushua, who you deny. Including his son, Yahushua, whom you deny. If the New Testament is false and fraudulent, the Old Testament doesn't make any sense. There's many prophecies that don't make any sense. Many prophecies that you're going to have to call lies by the Most High because they were not fulfilled in the Old Testament, but they had to be fulfilled. Everything that he do must be, everything he says must be done. Everything that he says will be, must be. So if there was no New Testament, then that means all the things that he said in the Old Testament that were not fulfilled in the Old Testament that he said would happen, they didn't happen, and he was a liar. That's what you're saying. The New Testament is not something the white man just made up to destroy us. I mean, I got a question for you guys. If the white man gave us the book, you say, right? And they made up the New Testament, why didn't they just take out the Old Testament and just give us the New Testament to corrupt us? Why leave in the Old Testament in the first place? What was the point? If they wanted to corrupt us and they made these books up and they, it was all fraudulent, fictitious. It got to all be fictitious because they gave us all of it, right? According to you, why did they, in the New Testament, why did they make it to where there was a problem between the Orthodox Jews and Yahushua and his followers? Why was there schism? The way there is a problem right now between us, between those who follow Yahushua and those who consider themselves Orthodox Israelites. The same problem that existed in the time of Yahushua exists right now. Why would they write that in there if their purpose was to destroy us? The purpose was to lead us astray? Why would they write in the book that there being a problem with people not believing on Yahushua? Why? If their purpose is to make us believe what they wanted us to believe, why wouldn't they just write in the book that everybody agreed, everybody was with it, nobody opposed it, everybody was all of one accord, everybody believed them, and in the story? Why was there a battle between Yahushua and those who today we call them Old Testament only Israelites? But they existed back then also. and he had a beef with them. They had a beef with him. Why did they write that into their story, into their concoction that they made up to lead us astray? Why did they put it there? Your theories make no sense. You sound foolish. Anyway, I'm done. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wahab Rakakadash. All praises due. I'll see y'all on the next one. Shalom.